conversation that took place in the territory, and some individuals have shared that she might not, you don't know what you're talking about, your interpretation might not be correct. So from your perspective, I want you to share with us, the public who doesn't necessarily know, what was your understanding of the law and how did this whole thing transpire. I just want you to clear it up for the public.
So I went to the court, right? And then the judge came in, jolly happy, and he was like, "Come, come, come! This is gonna be very fast." And he didn't even ask like if anybody had a question. He just like
Mhm,
put your hands up. So I said, "Wait, hold on, I have a question." So I
mhm,
read the law to him, and I asked him, "Is this the thing say you shall not do these things on these days?" I'm not no attorney. I'm not no
mhm,
judge. I don't know nothing about no law. But I know
mhm,
if I don't understand something, I'm going to ask a question. So I asked the question, and the judge replied and told me, "It is my interpretation of the law." So
mhm,
if you tell me it's my interpretation of the law and I think it's invalid, I told the
mhm,
judge, "Well, if it's my interpretation of the law, I think I'm violating the law, and as a result, I shouldn't violate the first law to uphold the law. So I would like
mhm,
to be rescheduled on a lawful day." So he said, "Well, you would have to take that up with the board of election. But if in the future it is deemed invalid, then we can do it again." So I respond and tell him, "Well, why don't we do it right the first time, right?"
mhm,
So he said, "Let's don't worry about it. Let's just swear in right now, and if it's a problem, we'll do it later." And I said, "No, I refuse to break the law to uphold the law, because he
mhm,
telling me it is my interpretation." He didn't tell me, "Well, Dr. Peter or Cleopatra or Miss Peter, that's not what the law means." He said it's my interpretation. So if it's
mhm,
my interpretation and I believe I break in the law, I'm not swearing in. I would like a new date to swear in on a legal day in the Virgin Islands. That is what I want. So I did not swear in.
mhm.
Um I didn't know if it would prevent me from being on the board altogether, but I was willing to stand up for righteousness and for what is right, even if I'm the only one standing. And if it means that I can't sit on the board because I wasn't sworn in on that day, that's a price I would have had to pay, but I had to stand up for what is right. I had to stand up.
Yes, so I wanted you to just clear that, and just so people understand that you're still member elect, and that doesn't change because you were duly elected by the people of the Virgin Islands. The only way that you will not be able to continue serving technically is if you were to get sworn in, you serve on the board, and the board decides to kick you out. That would be the only way, because you were a duly elected individual to the position. And
Yeah,
to just make a point.
the board can't kick you out. The people put you there. So
Yes,
you have to
exactly.
sit
Right,
there for
right.
4 years.
So,
Yeah, the board don't have that
so
power.
the word, and that was my next point. The word interpretation, um, can be interpreted any way that you put it. So you have your opinion, the judge has his opinion, and I think that's where this whole thing played out. That word interpretation, and I think if the judge was, didn't use that word but actually explain the background of how the law supposed to be, what the intent of it's supposed to be, I think we wouldn't have this issue. I think one of the issues we have is the laws of the Virgin Islands are simple. But then we have individuals who are in leadership who try to complicate the law to try to play with the people of the Virgin Islands' emotions. And that's why the people are frustrated, and that's why they're annoyed, because they're tired of being bamboozled. They just want straight up leadership.
Madam
And I think,
Burrow,
yes, yes.
sorry, I think our people are too fixated on position and title. I think
Mm-hmm,
that's our people's problem. And they don't question anything. If
mm-hmm,
it's the judge, if it's the principal, if it's the commissioner, it come on a stationary, that's what it is. That's
mm-hmm,
not so, people. That is not so. And we got this too much familiarity. Every day we just do things nilly willy because on the day of the swearing in, the document would have never been notarized, so that would be
mm-hmm,
falsified too.
That's the
Correct?
next.
So why
mm-hmm.
are we doing illegal in a setting that is supposed to show legality? It doesn't make sense. And that's why the whole place running the way running. Everybody don't do what they want, how they want, when they want.
Karen
Let's
just
just
made
do it right.
Karen
Mm-hmm.
just made a valid point. So after the judge swear in Liliana Balado and Mr. John Baptiste, he told
Mm-hmm.
them to sign, and he told them he's gonna notarize it tomorrow. And I'm like, you know, I know notary is you sign it for the notary, and the notary stamps it. So he could not notarize it on the holiday
I think
She
she's stuck.
lost connection. But
Yeah, last
what
connection.
happened is that they signed the document to be stamped on the next day. That can't be legal. A notary is supposed to be a signature in the presence of a notary. Proof that
Mm-hmm.
it is Mr. Martinborough ID certified. It is Mr. Martinborough ID match
Mm-hmm.
signed on that day. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't be notarizing a paper Tuesday for Monday. That doesn't work. Well, then everybody could sign a paper and anybody could carry it to the notary to stamp,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
right?
and so there was a lot of missteps that, a lot of intentional missteps that I think that occurred during this process, which made this whole thing become a whole issue to a point where WTJX put out a whole article about the situation, and attorneys in the comment section began expressing their opinions on the matter. For example, Attorney Kai Walker and former Senator Genevieve Whitaker, they shared their opinions. So I wanted you to just, Dr. Peter, just tell me what you think about their opinions and if you even saw it. Your volume, I don't know if you're muted or I can't hear you.
We
We can't.
can't hear you, Cleo. We can't hear you. Send her a message.
Yeah, see.
My take on that is that
can
if
you hear
you're
me
in
now?
the
Can you
Yes,
understand
yes,
now?
we
yes,
can.
yes,
Okay,
Mhm.
so Kai Walker works for the governor, so I don't expect her to put anything that's supporting me.
Mhm.
All right. I have spoke to attorneys. I've spoke to people close to the AG, and all of them tell me I was correct. I've spoke to former senators that told me I'm correct. I'm speaking to people that's close to the governor that's telling me correct. Kai Walker is an attorney for the governor. That's her job to do whatever she got to do to support whatever the governor agenda is. So I don't expect
Mhm.
anything different from her.